I am here for it. Alright, we're all set.
Alright. Well, I would like to thank everyone for coming out today. My name is Sanya Fox, and I am part of the IGA cohort level 3 program. And if you hear my cat, she's one of the jealous types, so she will probably get in my face throughout this call, just as a heads up. Sorry ahead of time. um, I have posted several links into the chat, um, into the garden chat, and those are going to be all the links that we'll be going over for this first part of this kind of workshop class. Um, what I plan on doing is basically showing everyone the first steps into starting a Godot C# project, and hopefully getting through uh, making a 3-level maze game. We It hits about that hour and a half mark, and we're not there. We may need to break this up into multiple parts. We'll just have to see. But for now, that is the plan: is to make is to make this game. Starting off, the first thing is, of course, going to Godot.org for the download. The one you're wanting is this Godot Engine.net. Not the blue one, you want the gray one. And then you will also want to come down here to the requirements and get this .net SDK file. You'll also want to download Visual Studio Code if you do not have it. Or if you use Visual Studio, that'll work too. It's just that Visual Studio Code has a specific Godot IntelliSense
Sky is
package.
asking a question in the chat. Is this one the C# one?
Let me see. It just. Let me see. Unfortunately, I do not believe we'll be able to tell that, because both of the Godot versions are going to be 4.3 right now, stable, mono, and official. So, if you haven't gone to this website or the Microsoft website to download the .NET, then you probably didn't. Yeah, the .NET SDKs, there's several hundred, or I think almost thousands at this point. So it could, it is possible that you had a .NET SDK that is aligned with Godot. I myself had at least 12 .NET SDKs at one point. I had to uninstall them all because they were just taking up too much room at one point. But I always do recommend making sure that you do go to that .NET SDK and installing it. If it says that you already have it, that's good. If you don't, if you don't have it, Godot Engine.net will not run. Awesome. I'm just reading the chat here for anyone that's watching on the recording. And we'll also be using the free version of this Tiny RPG asset pack. And the free version of this Damp Dungeon asset pack. So you can just press download and press the no thanks to take me to the downloads for both of these, and you'll get the zip file for all your assets. This final link is just a resource, just like Unity's official documents. This is Godot's link. That way, if you ever want to continue on afterwards, you have the resources to be able to get all the functionality. We'll just give everyone another few more minutes to get everything downloaded. And once you have everything downloaded, y'all can give me a thumbs up and emoji or okay, awesome. Do I need to download the .NET first in a separate website and then download the Godot? No, you can download Godot first, then the .NET SDK. Just before you run Godot, you'll need that SDK installed. Because when you download Godot, you'll get a zip file basically. Alright, have a great time. Alright, I think that was almost everyone with that last thumbs up. Alright, I think we still have one more actually. No, you have to press the gray one and this link down here. The blue one will install the Python version of Godot. So we're just ignoring the blue one entirely. So you're clicking the gray button and then clicking the .NET SDK. Our GD script is basically built on Python, so I always call it the Python version because it uses our Python's like structure, it uses Python language. It has just the extra library of GD script. Yes, Roberta. They are two completely separate versions of Godot. The Godot C# that we're using today can use the GD script, um, but the GD script version cannot read any C#. Alright, we'll go ahead and open this up. So, when you download the zip file, I actually am the one I have is 4.2. They updated it on me, but still the same thing. Once you downloaded the zip file and extracted it, this is what you'll get, and all you have to do is double click the executable file for whatever version of that you're using. So when you first start Godot, this is you'll get this. Yours will be empty probably. I have a bunch of projects, as you can see. To wait to start a new project is we're going over here to the new project. We're going to go ahead and name it and we'll put this over. So if you didn't see what I just did, basically I selected my path right here with browse, and then I have an entire folder dedicated to Godot projects, and then I just press created folder right here, created folder. You'll see / mobile and compatibility for the rendering process, and basically the difference is that / is if you are going to build this project. Zan, it looks like your mic is open, and people are asking you to mute. Let's see. / was is if you're making like a specific desktop or like application. Mobile is when you have like consoles involved. That's mobile to Godot. And compatibility is like web. There are like SDKs you can get for Godot that allows you to render or build towards iOS and Android, but they are not native into Godot. So if you're thinking about making any like mobile games, you'll just know that, you'll have to do an extra step to implement a whole another SDK process with Godot. At the very bottom, you can select your version control. It has Git as default, and what that means is that it automatically, when you mix the project, it has all the Git files that Git and GitHub require for the version control. We won't be going over Git in this workshop, so we'll just be setting it to none. You'll be met with this screen. Actually, you'll be met with this one. 1 second. There you go. The panels may be in different places. Well, the way you can change paneling around is by pressing these 3 little dots. I know it's very small. I can't really zoom in.
Oh, sorry. Sky is asking what was the project set to?
It doesn't really matter for this workshop, to be honest. You can set it to whatever you like. I set mine to mobile, just because that was the last thing I had it on. Or all that really does is that's how the project is built. So when you go to finalize it, that's how everything is rendered in the engine. But in all reality, for this workshop, we're not going to be doing any like full-on build or like billing and uploading to like itch, for example. We won't be doing that, so it really doesn't matter. But if you want to follow along, you can go with mobile. Here, actually, let me see if I can actually zoom in. This may look a little weird. Alright, so using OBS magic here. Alright, so these 3 little dots right here, whatever tab you're on, you can click that and then move it to the different docking stations, or even make them floating. So I have mine set up like this, where I have my inspector on the far right, and my scene on the left. So, and then the editor in the middle. Right? I agree. I know you could do it in Unity, but I remember it being kind of like out of the way to do it. So let me zoom back in here. Actually, I'll keep it zoomed in about right there for now. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to go ahead and show you, now that all the docking has been shown and different layouts you can adjust, the first thing I want you to do is go up here to Project, or sorry, not Project, Editor. I hear someone.
Prepared already. I feel prepared. I have lots of case potions. I have 9 potions of fly. 8 or 9? 8. Which is more than enough for all of us. So we'll get our absolute maximum distance. We have the glue
Mark,
and the methods
if you didn't
to
know,
stop
you're
everything
unmuted.
else. We have a fucking air elemental with 18 AC.
Mark, you're unmuted. Okay, there we go.
Alright, thank you. Where was I? Alright, and so we're going to go to Editor and Editor Settings. There, right there at the top. And get that moved over. The first thing I want you to do is go basically all the way down here to .NET Editor. And here, let me zoom in a little bit more. Yep. I don't want to reset it. Sorry. Sorry, y'all. I like my layout. It fits me perfect. Anyways, once you go down here to the .NET, you can change your editor to Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code, or if you like other editors, they are also here. You can even set it to a custom editor that's not listed, and you just have to direct the path to it. And in this workshop, because I had you download the Visual Studio Code earlier, setting it to Visual Studio Code is what we'll be doing here. The next thing is I'm going to show off some editor features. So in normal Godot, you have this 2D, you have this 3D, you have this script, and you have asset library. Asset library is basically like add-ons. Yep, here they pop in, that you can download. The Godot community is very great about add-ons. They love their add-ons. Oh, zoom back out a little. Yeah. I just want to make sure everyone could see. Is that good? Okay. So the Godot community is very good about add-ons. There's actually, this is not even all of them, or even most of them. The Godot engine.org official website doesn't have a lot of my favorite add-ons, but we're not here to talk about that today. I'll let you all check that out on your own time. What we're going to be doing is going over to manage editor settings, or features, sorry. And we're going to turn off the 3D editor and then all the 3D nodes. Because we will not be working in 3D. It just makes it easier to kind of filter everything out. That way you're not seeing like 12 different things when searching for like colliders. You will need to have script on. This is thing in Godot. If you don't have script on, you can't actually add any scripts to any object. So you gotta leave script up there, even though we're not using the Godot script editor. Oh, and... oh, that was open. Okay. So, I've been talking about nodes for a little bit. What is a node? If you go back to your main scene, and under your scene preview, you can see create a root node. It says 2D node, user interface, and other node. Nodes are basically everything in Godot. You have the basic node, which is basically an empty object, and then you have tons of stuff, and ranging from 2D, 3D, and user interface. Godot kind of uses a hierarchical kind of node system where the parent has all control of the children, so there are a lot of things you can do with that. Oh, actually, before I forget, this will actually save us a lot of trouble in the future. Go to Project and Project Settings. And then we're going to go down to Display, Window. We're going to change our viewport height, or width, to 640. The height to 360. And we're going to turn on advanced settings here so we can get those overrides. And then we're going to set the Windows size to 1920 and 1080. Or do you guys need it zoomed in a little bit, or is it still okay for you guys?
If you could zoom it in a little bit, that would be great.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Alright. So, what I just did was, under project settings, general, a display window, we changed the viewport width, viewport height, 640 by 360. And then went down to the overrides and changed it to 1920 by 1080. How did I turn off the 3D scene? If you go back to editor, I gotta close that out instead of minimizing it. Go to editor and then manage editor features. And then in this long list of features, I just turned off 3D editor and then 3D nodes down here. They're here somewhere. Yeah, they're here somewhere. There it is. 3D node, right under navigation. You just uncheck them, and then you press OK, and it's gone. We'll give a few more people, to catch back up, or a few minutes, or everyone to catch back up. Why did we change? It helps with the pixel art. So basically, we're changing the viewport, so the viewport is within a limit, and then the window size is because 1920 by 1080 is not like this tiny. It's actually a decent size window, so it's not like. Yeah. So if you were to just drag a sprite into the scene and press play as soon as you start, anything that is like a 16 by 16 would be like really, really, really tiny. Like you couldn't even see any. It'd be like a few like pixels on your screen. So setting the viewport sets the almost like the zoom almost, and then the window sets the actual window size. Alright, moving on. We are now going to go down to rendering. Okay, we're down to rendering and textures. And we're going to go to default texture filter. And we're going to change it from linear to nearest. That will save you a lot of headache if you're using pixel art. If you are using like vector art or something that has not so defining edges like pixel art, linear is fine. But if you're using pixel art, nearest is what you need to have it, or it'll just be that really fuzzy look, and for pixel art, it doesn't look so good. And then after you set that default texture filter to nearest, we're going to go down to environment. And we're going to go down to the default color. And we're just going to change it to black. The reason why we're doing this is because the way I'm made the level is because it's going to be a maze. So instead of having that black or like that gray background that it has right here when you play, if we set it to black, it kind of makes you feel like you're in the dark, and that's where we're going to be going for here. If you're making a 3D game with pixel art, so you're making like a 2.5D game, you'll still want nearest because your pixel art is still on the nearest side. Any 3D models will be using the 3D rendering, so it won't be using the same thing. There's 2D rendering and 3D rendering. I love my 2.5D games. I love making them. They're so fun. If you have pixel art, then yes, you need to be on nearest, or it'll just become really fuzzy. All the colors will blend out because it'll be a linear scaling color diffusion on the rendering. So you'll need to have it on nearest, that way it's following the exact pixel. Alright, we're going to go down here to 2D render, or actually no, not 2D render, 2D physics layer, under layer names.
Sorry. Thank you. I got it. Let's go, it's okay. Okay, I got it.
You got it? Alright. Alrighty now. Once you go down to layer names and 2D physics, we'll be naming this one environment. Layer 2 is going to be our player layer. And our third layer is going to be our enemy layer. If we get to enemies, I don't think we'll get to there. Our enemies may be another session. And all these recorded, so if you miss one, you will be able to watch it. So don't worry if you're not able to make whatever time we set the next one at. Alrighty, once that is all done, let's go ahead and move back over here to our can't really Not a really good place to put that. Here. No, me, go over here. There we go. I can be in the void. Alright. Are you able to see my scene view very well, everyone? Because what I'm gonna do is make a lot of nodes in a hierarchy, and just as a heads up, it is weird. I know it. I learned how to do like singletons and data structures from the GameDev.tv people, Robert. So I know everyone doesn't follow it or that kind of data structure, but that I've been doing this way for many years, and I have him to blame. So we'll be creating multiple nodes. This is going to be our main node. Basically, it's our highest form. Like this is the highest thing. This is what the game runs in a hierarchy. We'll then be making some child nodes. We're going to call this one, if I can spell right, I'm going to call this one game managers. We're going to call this one entities. Again, if I can spell it correctly. This is going to be our environments. Skipped a step there. And then the last thing will be a canvas layer. And this is going to be called UI. What were the settings again? Which settings? The camera, the rendering, or the layers? Actually, here. This might be easier. They're just basic nodes. They're empty objects. They're there because I'm very neurodivergent, so they're there for organization purposes. They won't do anything. There you go, Roberto. I just posted in chat the project settings. The get behind the curtain. I had this made already, so I am just going through it again to make sure that everyone can follow along. Alright. Under our game managers, we'll be making a few more child nodes. And they're just basic nodes. We're going to be calling... Oh, let me go back to where I was in my script. We're going to be calling this, like, level manager. And I know we're not going to probably get to it today, but we'll go ahead and make this node anyways. I'm going to be editing it, sure. So this is the reason why I'm doing it this way is that this basically is a way I can do singletons, but also assign things in the editor. So there is a feature within Godot called autoload. If you go to project and project settings, under autoload, you can make a scene and save it as an autoload scene. However, it doesn't pop up during the editor, so if I made another scene, it wouldn't automatically show up. It would show up, it would load during gameplay when you press play, but it wouldn't be there for the editor. And I still have a lot of Unity habits of me of having everything in the editor. So this is the way I do it. You can even ask my team over at the cohort, or the level 3 cohort. I did this exact same thing for our game jam. We're gonna go ahead and save the scene. And we are just gonna create a folder. We're gonna call it scenes. Basically, if you are coming from Unity, scenes is basically prefabs. In all reality, there's not a lot of difference between the two. Is that Unity has a separate thing called scenes, where in Godot, the scene is the prefab, and you're just kind of playing or you can put prefabs inside prefabs and run the main prefab. Yes, here, let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see. So, our main is our main parent, and then game managers is a child of main, entities is a child of main, environment is a child of main, and UI is a child of main. In game managers, level manager and enemy manager are children of game managers. And we're going to go over here to our file system. Godot allows us to create folders and adjust everything here. We're going to create a new folder. Put this over here. We're going to call this resources. We're going to create a subfolder. My headphones are dying. Give me 1 second. Sorry for the brief interruption. Alright, and we're back. Alright, we were creating characters as our subfolder of resources. Basically, the way that I do my file structure is that I have a resources, which is basically the art, scenes, which is our prefabs, and then scripts, which is where all of our scripts will be going. Like, you don't have to do this. This is just for my organization. This is just how I do my organization. Again, very neurodivergent. Very, gotta keep the same folder set up. We can create a enemy subfolder of characters. I agree. I do. I think it's also very good practice. But I've also been in many teams that were like, or that have told me I'm very much a organization control freak. We're also gonna create a we're gonna create a general script folder. We are going to create the characters. And that should be kind of good for this one. Let me skip ahead a little bit. Alright, we'll go ahead and actually create our first script that's going to be completely empty. We'll be calling this script, make sure it's in script general. Yep, okay. And we're going to be calling this script, let's see, what I name it, game constants. And before you press create, make sure you press this GD script and go down to C#. Again, the C# engine can run the GD scripts. It's just that there tends to be a conflict when you use GD script in the C# engine. Like, it can work, it's just I've seen it just work in the G# engine and then not work in the C# engine, even though they're the same script. And you'll see it down here in our file system. And let's go ahead and actually give a preview of what that looks like as I do my OBS magic. Oop, there you go. That. Alright, so when you first open Visual Studio Code, you'll get this. Do you trust the authors? Yes. unless you're using a public file system, then you say no. Or did you make the template object empty or no default, or does it matter? What do you mean? Could you clarify? Because, are you talking about the game constants, or are you talking about the nodes? Don't check the template at all. Here, let me go back and create a new script. It just inherits from node. So if you uncheck it, it should go straight to node. If it doesn't, you can just press this little, oh, is it probably two? Yes, you can press this little button right here, and it'll bring you up to this, and you can just search node. And that's what it inherits from. It doesn't really technically matter, because once we're in code, we can change it immediately. So it doesn't really matter, but just as a heads up, in case you wanted to know. that go. Alright. And we're gonna zoom in here. So, and this is what you'll probably, if you've done any C# scripting, you'll be very used to the using system. Godot uses partial classes for everything. So, if you are dealing with any kind of class system whatsoever, you will be using partial. Let me go over to our being constant, so make sure. We're not going to use this at all. We'll be just using our basic public class. And that's all we're going to do for now. I know. Oh, very intuitive, right? Best class in the game. And just as a heads up, I'm not a programmer, so I know there's the whole, like, adding namespaces and everything. I don't do that, because I kind of see it as not needed. I know it does save on memory and stuff. How did you open, or how did you get it open? Is my defaulting to just brain stuff, basically. Did you change, if we go back to editor settings, oop, not the features, that's, if we go back to editor settings, you go all the way down to the very bottom under .NET Editor and switch it to Visual Studio Code. Did you do that? Alright. Another thing we'll need to do, because maybe, is also get the extensions. So, the extensions you're gonna want is the .NET install tool, the C# tool, the C# dev kit, C# tools for Godot. You don't need the HTML. The it's all here in. All you have to do is search extensions by their name. So if you search for C#, it comes up with the dev kit. You don't have to put, there's no links that you need to. If you're worried about the malicious ones, make sure it's from Microsoft. This little check mark right here, and this is from Microsoft. The C# dev kit, and sorry, my headphones are turning off. I need to turn off sleep mode real quick. Or have lo-fi in the background too. Okay, while you guys are getting these dev kits, let me turn off sleep mode for my headphones so they stop turning off. C# dev kit, and the Godot. Let me go back. You also probably want your .NET install tool. Just that's a general probably should have, and the C# tools for Godot. Where are? Where's the autosave function? Visual Studio Code is great for any programming language, to be honest. I love Visual Studio Code. I can't find it. Let me... Other things I also recommend is the IntelliCode, IntelliSense, for C# dev kit and stuff like that. That just makes it so that you have the autofill things pop up. IntelliSense is just a lifesaver. Let's see. You don't need to use. So, if you got all the C#, I'd also recommend the IntelliCode API and the IntelliCode for C# dev kit. Also install. Alright. Yes, it is. It is an AI generation. And so if you're not okay with AI doing this, this is IntelliSense, so, or IntelliCode. If you're not okay with this and you want to program everything out, that's more power to you. I like having this pop up because there is a bunch of times I can't remember for the life of me, like if it or what is like or format is, or not format, but a syntax is for a few things, and I just like I can't remember. And then this pops up. It's like, oh yes, that was it. So just. Alright. And let's go back here. Because we've been on this for a while. Alright, so we're going to do the first real major thing that this way we're not looking at a black screen the entire time. Let me zoom in. You'll see this plus button at the very top of your screen, or of your main screen, wherever that may be, wherever you want to put that. There'll be a plus button up here. Go ahead and press it, and we'll be going to other node. We'll be looking for a character body 2D node. We're gonna name this our player. We're going to be adding a few nodes. We're going to be player manager. We're going to add another node. It's going to be our player state machine. We're going to create a few sub-nodes for the player state machine. The way I'm going to be showing you guys make a state machine in here, we'll be kind of using this node system. Yes, we did create a new screen. Go ahead and, yeah, exactly, let's guide it. Press the little plus button up here at the very top of your main, editor screen. There'll be a little plus button right here. And I'm gonna make a few states here. It's gonna be our idle state, move state, our attack state, and our death state. And we'll not be looking at that for a while. We're going to go above here and grab a sprite 2D. We'll also be wanting a animation player, specifically. The last state is the death state. So it's idle, move, attack, and death. Here, actually, I can leave that open so you can see it. We will now also be creating our collision shape 2D. And if we come over here to the inspector, you'll see the empty under shape, and we are just going to give it a capsule. And let me go back over here. I see some typing. So. Here is our little person for now. We'll see what everyone's typing real quick. Actually, let me switch this over, make this a little easier. There. I have the inspector over here with my scene for you all, so I don't have to keep going back and forth. Then you just look at this, the top of the screen right here. So if you missed it when I was over on the other side of my Godot, basically I went over here to the collision shape 2D under shape, press this little arrow, and press new capsule shape 2D. And that's what gave us our collision. Alright, Mark, have a great day. We will probably only do another 15 minutes. And I will make a second. I'll make another class or workshop for everyone to come back to. Alright. I just want to make sure we get the player at least on the screen before we go. Alright, we go back to our scene. Oh. And my headphones are back on. Okay, I really gotta figure out how to turn this, or turn that sleep mode back off for the next time. Alright. Yes, as Salem said, this is a reminder that every single one of these will be recorded and uploaded to the IGA YouTube channel. So that even if you guys miss one, you'll be able to watch them all. And we're going to add a few more things. We're going to add an area 2D. We're going to add 2 of them, actually. We're going to call this one our hurt box. And this one's going to be our hit box. We're also going to add a camera. I'm going to go a little bit quicker just to make sure we get the player up and running. And we are also going to be adding a point light to our player. And then we're immediately going to disable it. Because we will come back to that at a later time. Alright, so wherever you extracted your the sprites and everything to, we'll finally be able to actually put those into the engine. Let me grab mine real quick, if I can find it. Alright, so all you have to do is drag our soldier into our characters. Or if you didn't extract it like I did. We're going to be re-importing a few things. We're going to put our orc into enemy. One second, make sure that it's actually working. Huh. Normally that works. I guess that'll just be our technical issue right there. So let me just pull it from and do it this way. There's always got to be a technical issue, right? Always inedible, I know. Can't escape it. I think it has something to do with I made this project on my NAS, and my NAS has protections against third-party uploading, so that probably is what's happened. Because I didn't realize I put it on my NAS. And our enemy is going to be our orc. We'll also be creating under resources. We'll be adding tile set, which will be our damp dungeon tile set here. So we have resources, characters, soldier, and then enemy. Enemy is under orc. And luckily, that's the only. Zoom out or zoom in?
Zoom out.
Okay. I really wasn't doing anything other than uploading to my NAS.
Okay, no problem.
So, everything you saw on my side, or on this side, is what it was. So. You'll be able, once we get back into Godot, and it import, or as it's re-importing. There it goes. You'll see our file structure in the file system over here. It'll probably be a lot easier than looking at my what is this called? Explorer. I just moved the files that were on the extracted file. I just select the file and put them where they need to be in the extraction. So or if you use like 7-zip, I just selected the folder and said extract to this location, I haven't used WinRAR in years, but I know they all have all the file extraction services have their own ways that you can select a specific file within the zip file and extract it to to a different positions. So. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and continue. Now that we have all of our everything except for the collision shapes for our area 2Ds, we'll just be adding our collision shape and we'll be renaming them to like hurt box collider. And our hitbox collider. And then we'll just add more capsule shapes for both of those. And now we'll finally be able to go over here to our sprite. And go down to soldier with shadows. And we are going to go over to the inspector and drag soldier idle to our textures right here. You're gonna see like here where the sprite is all in a line like this. What? No idea what that is. And if we go back to our scene and click back into our sprite 2D, we'll get back to our little thing here. We'll go down to animations, and let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 H frames. That is the soldier idle sprite. Soldier idle. Alright, and from here, we're gonna count out our H frames. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're gonna set our H frames to 6. We're actually gonna turn off our boxes here because we don't really need to see them in the editor right now. And then once you have it set to H frame 6, we have our player. Oh, you can actually see him, not just looking at the void. Congratulations, we have our player. Woo! Our player has a face. The next big thing, we're going to actually go all the way to whatever your output doc, the one that has debugger, search results. In this list will be animation. If we actually click on our animation player in our scene view. So, if right here you clicked on it, and our animation right here. Make this a little bigger. If you click this button right here under animations, you can press new, and we're going to call this idle. Let's crunch this in a little bit so you can see. Alright, well, now I'm in the way. Oh. Not that, my camera. There we go. We'll move me over. We'll move you right here so that everyone can see. Alright, so down here, we have our animators in seconds. We can go ahead and flip that over to FPS, and we're gonna snap it to our 6 frames, and we're gonna set our time to 6 frames. So this is our time scale, or our time on the animation, and this is our snapping. So we'll be able to, and this little slider right here zooms in and out. Let me move this all the way up here, so I can move this like right here, so you guys can see this. And move me out of the way again. Alright, so now that we are on our animation right here, and now we can click on our Sprite 2D, go over to our inspector. First thing we're going to do is key in our texture, and we're not going to create a reset track. I've had so much bad luck with the reset tracks, I just tell it not to do it. So it's not supposed to make, or it's supposed to have it so that if the animations is ever null, it has a reset track too. I just have had so many troubles with it over the years of using Godot. I just stopped using it. So we're also going to set our H frame, because the artist that did all the characters have different H frames for each sprite. So we're going to also key in our H frame if it will load. Oh, oh. Same thing, turn off Bezier curves and reset tracks. And then we're going to start keying in our frames. So frame 0 is frame 0. Frame 1 is 1. Frame 2 is 2. I said frame 2 is 2, not 1. Okay, 2 is 2, 3 is 3, 4 is 4, 5 is 5, and 6 is nothing. So, if we actually go back to our little player here, you'll see he will stop bobbing as we are moving along our animation. Now let me switch this back up so you can see. While we're moving along our animation here, you can see him start bobbing. You can go ahead and press play, and then, you can't see it because I'm in the way. But over here, you'll see this little arrow, or the 2 little arrows. That just means looping. This means that it plays back and forth continuously, so it's a loop and then repeat. So if you have any animations that have like if you're using a sword and you swing and then you also come like you're battering almost, that's kind of how that looks. And then without the blue marker means that it only plays once. Blue marker means that we are looping. Another thing I want you guys to do, you guys will probably have this on continuous, because that is Godot's default. I changed it so that it's always discrete by default. Continuous it is much better used in like 3D environments I've found, where there is a linear like path to these. But if the engine is like halfway in between this frame, for example, it won't. If it's on continuous, it may actually add like half the animation hiccup. If it's on discrete, it'll be like, no, this is like, it's like a graph almost, where like this second this is it, this second this is it, so it's more discrete. And we'll go ahead and make the animation for move. Attack. Hurt. And death. And you guys did not see any of that, did ya? So here, let me... See, even when you tell Godot not to make the reset track, it still makes the reset back anyways. So... Oh, and we are hitting our hour-and-a-half marker, so with that, oh, it did appear on your screen? Okay. Well, let's do this one last thing before I let you all go. It's not part of my current script, but we'll go back to our constants over here. Zoom this out a little bit. There you go. And we are going to make our animation constants. The reason why we're doing this is so that we can reuse the same naming conventions for our not only our player, but any enemies we have in the future. So we'll be making our move. Make sure I keep my constants actually capitalized. Our move, hurt, attack, oop, put that in the right one. Zoom this out a little bit more. There you go. Alright. And this will probably be the last thing we do today. And like I said, this is all to set up for everything in the future. That way we can, when we tell C# or Godot in our C# program to play these animations, we can just use our game constants and have intelligence like fill everything out for us, and we don't have to have any floater strings anywhere. Alright. Is everyone good?
Anyone have any questions before we go?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you go over how you put the sprites in the like the 2D 2D in the scene?
Yeah. So if we go back to our inspector, all you have to do is drag. Let me scroll out a little bit. So from our file system here, we have soldier idle, and you just drag the soldier idle to texture. So it's literally just like that. Alright, any other questions before we go?
I'm not sure when the video will be up. I know if you went to Julian's lecture on, let's see, what day was that? I recorded that one too on August 18th. That was code decoupling. That's up on the YouTube channel right now. I believe we'll get back to you guys on the next session.
Yeah, I will need to talk to Jess about coordinating the next session. It'll probably either be Friday, Saturday, or Sundays. Those are my best days to do these kind of sessions. Yes, just drag the PNG file into the texture in Inspector. And it will probably be like this one. It will probably be posted in the events, or the upcoming events, and we'll be posting it to the or some of the chats. Any chance you could show, or you could post steps on how you made it show only a single sprite on how you animate it? Yeah, that's all you have to do is go under animation and set the H frames to 6, and then in your animation, when we're in idle here, all you have to do is key the frames. So frame 0 is 0, frame 1 is 1, frame 2 is 2. So as you, I need to probably zoom in, don't I? Everything, this will be up on YouTube, so you will be able to watch on YouTube. But just real quick, as you can see, as we're changing the animation, this keyframe right here is how you change the frames. So as long as you have that H frame set to 6, and you key the frames, it will add that frame to the animation. Yeah, every frame is a different sprite because the H frame is basically, if you're from Unity, this sprite 2D is your whole like sprite editor, and you're manually slicing those boxes of each frame on the sprite editor, this does it all for you. So you don't need, it doesn't have a whole extra thing to it. It's all right there. I'm gonna go ahead and actually link my LinkedIn, so that that'll probably be the fastest way anyone gets updates on when we're doing the next session. Everyone can follow me on LinkedIn, and that's Constance. There you go. Everyone can follow me and connect with me, and as soon as I know the next session, I'll be posting it there.
Okay, thank you so much. How do you pronounce your name? I don't want to pronounce it wrong.
It's Sanya.
Sanya? Okay, good. Well, thank you so much, Sanya, for walking us through Godot. It was a really good class. Definitely keep people updated about the upcoming event. Speaking of upcoming events, I just wanted to do like a little bit go over our next week events and stuff. So we have our usual indie game lunch hour next Wednesday, September 4th. This time with Ayla Derrick, who's the founder of Cave Bear Games. You don't want to miss that. I'm actually very excited for it. Thursday, September 5th, we have our monthly playtest night. So if you have games that you would like other people to playtest, bring those. Friday, September 6th, we have our super top secret wizarding event. Definitely come for that. We're super excited to show you guys what's been up with IGA.
Can't say anything.
It's gonna be so fun. It's gonna be so fun. I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait either.
Also, Saturday, September 7th and Sunday, September 8th is going to be our visual novel dating sim class. I joined that one. I'm really excited for it. I have ideas for my own dating sim, so that's gonna be super fun. So yeah, that's the upcoming week. Appreciate you guys for popping in and listening.
Thank you, everyone, so much for your time.
Yeah, this was an excellent class. Okay, all right, we're gonna head out now. Thank you guys so much.
Bye, everyone.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Thank you.